Welcome to Primal Survival today, folks. Welcome to Hoop House episode 3 with tomatoes in it. So I'm going to show you how the tomatoes have progressed in the last 3 to 4 weeks from little starters about this big to what we're about to see. So follow me. So what we got here, first of all, let me show you my tadpole tank. Look at them in there. I got them growing. See, those are the real sea monkeys. You remember those sea monkeys? I do. Alright, so what we got here is a thermometer. It's cooling off. Very nice. So look at these tomato plants. These things are mammoths now. If you watch the second episode of the Hoop House tomato starts, you'll see they were just like literally this big as this little branch here. So we got this one. This one. He's reaching out of the bucket. That one, man, that one. This one. So what we're doing today is, see this one, how it's leaning over? It should be growing up straight, but it started to lean. This is a real different kind of tomato plant I'm not familiar with. It's not the real ones that go straight up. It's a bush style. I think they're yellow tomatoes because that's what it said on the side of the little planter the lady gave us when she gave us the starts. Anyway, this thing is leaning over. Man, it smells like tomatoes in here. I love the smell of tomato plants. It is like one of my favorites. So natural. But yeah, we're going to tie these tomato plants up so they're not leaning. I want them to be straight up like that. I think it'll be better overall for the plant. And look at this. Oh yes, we got some flowers. So I don't know if y'all knew, but tomato plants are self-pollinating. They do not need to have another tomato plant around. They can pollinate within themselves. And they are air pollinated. Bugs can help, but it's not required. So it's kind of a cool plant. So yeah, see this one, it's leaning over. It's just like bunching up back here. Nope, it needs to be grown straight up. So alright, I'm going to get a piece of wood, cut it in half, show you that process. And then I'm going to come in here and tie them up with some garden twine. Oh yeah, and then I got these here. These a couple days ago were just like little sprouts. I started these ones myself from seed, and these are in fact red tomatoes. So if I get a whole bunch of yellows and at least 2 reds, I'll be fine. All right. Okay, so what I got here is a nice Ryobi table saw. Oh yeah, and a 1x4 pine. So I'm going to take this 1x4 and rip it right in half, and I'll be left with a couple of dowels to span across the top of my tomato barrels, and it'll give me something to tie them up with. It's a little structure. So I'm going to rip this in half and show you afterwards. All right. Easy peasy. Took like 2 seconds. Look at those long sticks. All right, man, thank God for a nice piece of machinery. We got good technology nowadays, folks. Be thankful for it. All right, look at that, covered in sawdust. Now let's go set these up on top of the barrels and tie them up. Okay, so here are the dowels of wood. They are just going to be laying on the top of the barrels like this. And I pulled them over some there. I'm going to take some garden twine and tie it to them. Got it on both sides. This is just my own system I came up with because I've never grown something halfway down into a 55-gallon drum. So it's kind of nice. It stays within like that, but you know, if you got leaves pressing up against the side, it may get humid. You may get a mold problem or something. So I want the plants to actually, I'm gonna thin them up down here when I prune, so it's just not a big old bush down there, you know. Okay, so let me show you this garden twine. Where's it at? I just love the way this greenhouse smells. So this is the best garden twine I could find here in Southwest Missouri. It's like 500 feet for like $4, and it can hold about 9 pounds. So I drove around to a few different areas, and this was the one I got. Look at that. That'll last me for a couple of years. So since I only got one hand, I can't do it with one hand. So I am going to pause the video, tie him up, and I'll show you. I'm going to tie him up real loosely too. I'm not really going to strangle the plant, really tie it on there hard. It's just going to be like a nice little saddle that's just going to be holding it up. Yeah, so you know this is an American success story. These little plants went from some little wilted, half broke, over little tomato plants to these big old successful businessman tycoon plants, and they are just exploding inside of these barrels. All right, let me tie them up. Okay, so we're back. So what I got here, I got them tied off here to this support beam all the way down, both rows. So when these tomato plants get laid in with big, awesome, ripe, succulent tomatoes, they're always going to have a nice structure there for the plant not to sag and fall in on itself. Let me show you a good, okay, there we go. See how I got that? A little bit right there, not too tight. There's a lot of room there for the plant to still move. It's not being stretched out. Now this one I had to pull it a little tight. This was the one that was really growing sideways. This one was kind of growing out sideways too, all the way like that. So, oh yeah, so I found some more little blooms down here. Look at those. And look at my fingers. They got green stuff on them from playing with the stalks of them, like some kind of tomato resin. All right, so I got the water on. Let's water the tomatoes. It's always best, I heard, to water in the evening because the plants will soak it up all night instead of get the good setting here. The plants will soak it up all night. Haha, thanks, it's raining. So I'll just do about, you know, some on each of these here. Look how pretty that looks. This is how food is made, folks. This is how real food is made. And this is real Missouri well water I'm using here. There's no chlorine in here, nothing. This is not city water. This is out of a well. It's being pumped through the 24-volt pump that's hooked up to a solar system. So that's cool. It's raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring. Yeah, see, so the hoop house got some good benefits that, like, you don't get too much rain, but also you gotta water. You can't take advantage of the good, just, you know, light soaking rains. So you gotta come in here and do it. But see, these barrels do not have holes in the bottom. They do not have holes in the bottom, so it's kind of self-watering. It's kind of self-watering if you think about it, because any water that collects in there stays in there, and the plant stretches its roots down to suck it up. See how nice these nice new pieces of wood look? Nice and bright pine. They're going to be pretty dark and mangy at the end of the season. They're going to look like old barn wood in here. So, water this one. So all this watering has been making me pretty thirsty and pretty dehydrated, so I think I could use a little bit myself. Oh yeah. Whew. Alright, so thank you for watching Primal Survival. Tune in next week for another wild edibles video, and we'll see you soon. God bless you.